Hey folks, it's Tom and Frugal Prepper. Happy Thanksgiving. So tomorrow is Black Friday. I want to just talk about a little gun that I bought. It was a Black Friday deal. It was an early one, but it's going on tomorrow too. This is at Rural King. This is on sale for $205. So if you're looking for your first gun, something cheap, something reliable, something easy to learn, something that doesn't have a lot of different safeties and stuff that you have to deal with and learn, I think this is an excellent option. This is the Rock Island Armory. M206 is what it is. This is actually a kind of a clone of the Colt Police Detective. It has the Colt release on the cylinder that pulls back and opens that cylinder. It's a very similar gun to that. It'll use the same holsters as that. It comes with an extra set of plastic grips that are bigger if you want to use those. I don't, because I pocket carry this. It's a very good gun. We'll make sure that it's unloaded. It is. And it holds 6 shots instead of your standard 5, like most snubby revolvers will. It's got like a 2-inch barrel on it. It's a pretty good gun. It has the U notches right there, and it has the front sight post. They're not adjustable. They're pretty much dead on. I put a little strip of green paint on the front sight just to be able to pick it up a little easier. But it's a good little gun. It does not have a whole lot of machine marks on the front of that cylinder or the back of it. It doesn't have a lot of unnecessary machine marks in there. So some of their older versions of this have really a lot of tooling marks and machining marks on them. They seem to have improved that. One of the things you want to do whenever you buy a revolver, used or new, is you want to just do a few tests with it. You're going to have to ask permission to dry fire it, make sure it's unloaded. But you're going to want to check the cylinder for wobble. It should just move just a little bit, just like that. You're going to want to cock it, make sure it locks up, it stays locked up tight. You're going to drop the hammer, check the cylinder for wobble, cock it, check it again, all right? And that's going to tell you that that's working. You're going to do that for however many shots it is. So it's a 6 shot, so you're going to do that 6 times. And you're also going to take and fire it very slowly 6 times. And you want to do that slowly and make sure that you don't feel the hammer or the trigger hanging up in there, or it doesn't hang up. But a lot of times when you pull them real fast, it won't hang up, but you pull a revolver slow, it tends to hang up more often. And that's usually just where these little things on the cylinder have gotten worn out. Or back here, they've gotten worn out. So what you have is, in a revolver, you have that piece right there that locks the cylinder up side to side, and these actually take care of turning that cylinder. So if someone ever comes after you with the revolver or threatens to shoot you, one of the easiest things in the world to do to defend yourself is to grab that gun and grab it around the cylinder like that. You grab it like this, they cannot pull the trigger and fire that gun. They cannot cock it and fire that gun, no matter how strong they are, and you don't have to hold on to it very tight at all. So that's one thing you should know on if you get attacked by somebody with a revolver, grab that. And as long as don't let go. Whatever you do, don't let go. But they're not going to shoot it as long as that. Now, if they have the hammer back, they can still do it. Let me verify again. It's just unloaded. So if they have the hammer back and you grab it, they can still fire once. Okay, so, but if that hammer's not forward and you grab that cylinder, they're not going to be able to operate that gun. So But this is a really good gun. Now, it's more expensive. The ammunition is more expensive for this than it is for a 9mm. 38 specials are really common, but they're not as common as 9mm, which is the cheapest, you know, $12, $14 a box. And usually when there's an ammo shortage, they run out of 38s too. But 38s are the easiest rounds to reload. I mean, I have a whole box of them here I've reloaded, and these are 158 grains, but you can buy 115 grains, I think, really cheap, and, you know, load these suckers up and go and shoot. 38 specials are a really low pressure round. You don't have to really worry about trimming them. I've never had to trim one, and I have some of these cases I've reloaded close to 20 times and they still look and work perfect. So you don't go through a lot of cases that way. Like on some higher pressure rounds, you're only going to get 5 or 6 reloadings out of one. And you know, they're a lot of fun. The plus side to a revolver is very simple operation. There's no external safeties, right? You can cock it or fire, cock it to fire, or you can just pull it out and double action fire it. But no external safeties, no learning to rack slides and do things. The most complicated thing is going to be if you need to reload it. This one comes back where some of them push forward, right? So this pulls back, that drops out, you reload it, you slap that down, get your rounds out of there, and then put your new rounds in and close it up. So the downside to that is reloads take a lot longer on a revolver than they do on a semi-auto. Less chances of malfunctions, less stuff to learn about, less stuff to learn to operate on a revolver. So, you know, however you want to do it, you know, your choice is yours. But I think revolvers are very good. 6 shots, I mean, that's enough. You're gonna have to fire 1 or 2 shots most likely. The chances of you ever needing to reload, very slim, very slim. But you can get speed loaders for these if you want. That will speed things up a little bit, but still takes longer than just dropping and insert the magazine. But they're a lot of fun. The other downside is, let me see, let me double check, and not loading, okay. And a double action trigger squeeze, keeping that sight dead on while you squeeze it takes a lot of practice and training, just because it's such a heavy trigger. Let me see, it's 11 to 12 pounds. So I don't have a gauge, but that's just what I'm saying, 11 to 12 pounds. So it's a heavy trigger. However, when you cock it, it's a really light, nice trigger. Ooh, that's 3 or 4 pounds. that's a nice one. Oh yeah, that's, I don't even know if it's 3 or 4 pounds, man. It's a light one. Yeah, it's a really light trigger. That's nicer than my Taurus trigger is. But, you know, so there's that. If you got to take that long shot, really make that shot, you can cock it, and then you don't pull the sights off side to side, and you just stay dead on with that, right? They're pretty safe because it's such a heavy trigger pull. You're not going to really very easily accidentally hit that trigger. Right now I'm carrying it in this pocket holster. I'm going to get one that covers the trigger, but this is one I had for now, so I'm just sticking it in here and carrying it. I'm not worried. I only put this in my pocket, and it has a really long, heavy double action trigger, so I'm fine with that. One thing on this is it does have a long spur, so some people have problems with this hammer coming down and meeting up with their hand. I do not. It doesn't meet my hand, but some people have had that problem. but the plastic grips they include with this set your hand back a little bit too. So that hammer is a little bigger than I'd like. I might eventually grind that off, and just down to here or something, to get that a little shorter, just because it can snag your pocket or your clothing if you're trying to draw it, which is the advantage of buying a revolver with no hammer on it. But there's a disadvantage in that you can't cock it if it doesn't have a hammer that you can grab and cock. So but I think this is an excellent starter gun. If you want something, the price is right, and ammunition is a little more expensive for these than they are for a 9mm, but you buy a cheap reloading press and some reloading stuff, you can reload ammo for this pretty cheap, and then you get started in reloading and you're able to make some ammunition and bullets, and you don't have those problems. You just keep some extra primers and powder in stock. When there's an ammo shortage, you don't care about it. You have enough to reload thousands of rounds. So there's always that advantage too. Anyway, that's all I got on this, I think. But you guys let me know what you think about this. But I think it's a pretty nice looking gun. It has a nice crown barrel. I mean, it's pretty decent for the money. I'll talk to y'all later. It's Tom, your Frugal Prepper.